4715. How can an IAF be identified on a Standard Instrument Approach Procedure (SIAP) chart? A. All fixes that are labeled IAF. B. Any fix illustrated within the 10-mile ring other than the FAF or step-down fix. C. The procedure turn and the fixes on the feeder facility ring. The correct answer is B. On a Standard Instrument Approach Procedure (SIAP) chart, an initial approach fix (IAF) can be identified as any fix illustrated within the 10-mile ring, excluding the final approach fix (FAF) or any step-down fixes. The 10-mile ring is typically depicted on the chart and represents the area around the airport where initial approach fixes are located. The IAF is the fix where an aircraft begins the initial segment of the approach procedure. Therefore, when looking at a SIAP chart, you can identify the IAF by locating any fix that is illustrated within the 10-mile ring, excluding the FAF or step-down fixes. 4746. Which fixes on the IAP charts are initial approach fixes? A. Any fix on the en route facilities ring, the feeder facilities ring, and those at the start of arc approaches. B. Only the fixes at the start of arc approaches and those on either the feeder facilities ring or en route facilities ring that have a transition course shown to the approach procedure. C. Any fix that is identified by the letters IAF. The correct answer is C. On IAP charts, the initial approach fixes, IFs, are depicted with the specific identifier, IAF, labeled on the chart. These fixes mark the points where the initial segment of the approach begins and where aircraft transition from the en route phase to the instrument approach procedure. Therefore, the fixes on the IAP charts that are considered initial approach fixes are those specifically identified with the letters IAF. 4632. When the approach procedure involves a procedure turn, the maximum speed should not be greater than A. 180 knots IAS. B. 200 knots IAS. C. 250 knots IAS. The correct answer is B. When an approach procedure involves a procedure turn, the maximum speed should not be greater than 200 knots indicated airspeed, IAS. Therefore, the correct answer is B, 200 knots IAS. It is important to adhere to published speed restrictions during the procedure turn to ensure safe and accurate maneuvering. 4636. What does the absence of the procedure turn barb on the plan view on an approach chart indicate? A. A procedure turn is not authorized. B. Teardrop type procedure turn is authorized. C. Racetrack type procedure turn is authorized. The correct answer is A. The absence of the procedure turn barb on the plan view of an approach chart indicates that a procedure turn is not authorized. A procedure turn is not authorized. In such cases, pilots are expected to proceed directly to the final approach course or follow any alternative instructions or routing specified in the chart. 4767. Where a holding pattern is specified in lieu of a procedure turn, the holding maneuver must be executed within A. The 1-minute time limitation or DME distance as specified in the profile view. B. A radius of 5 miles from the holding fix. C. 10 knots of the specified holding speed. The correct answer is A. Where a holding pattern is specified in lieu of a procedure turn, the holding maneuver must be executed within the 1-minute time limitation or DME distance as specified in the profile view. Therefore, the correct answer is A. The 1-minute time limitation or DME distance as specified in the profile view. This means that pilots should maintain the holding pattern for the specified duration or distance before proceeding with the approach.